Hello and welcome back to Star Citizen University, and this is just going to be a experimental look at how profitable it actually is to use a rented Prospector. And part of the reason for this is because it's long been the perceived wisdom that renting Prospectors, because you can't upgrade the lasers and you can't add modules, is basically a total waste of time. And I am just going to investigate to see if that's true. So we're on the refinery deck, and of Arc L1, but any of the L1 stations will be fine. And we're just going to rent a bog standard Prospector. It's going to come with, I think, an Arbor Mark 1 laser, which is pretty hopeless, I'm not going to lie, and the quantum drive is terrible. So I'm going to leave my perfectly good Prospector sitting behind, and we're going to fly out to the Halo, and we're going to have a look for some rocks and see what we can find and see what we can actually mine. So here's a rented Prospector. We had to wait for it to be delivered, which felt a wee bit dodgy, because you know we paid for 24 hours and then we had to wait 8 minutes. Feel cheated, but at least it will have that new ship smell or something. Well, actually, no, it's rented. God alone knows where it's been. So, we are going to the Aron Halo. What is the Aron Halo? It is the belt of asteroids that you will see around here, circling in the middle of the system. Now, this is slightly erroneous, okay? Slightly misleading, because what is actually, where this halo actually is closer to this blue line here. It's not where it's shown on the map. Now, there's no way to plot a course to the halo, which is both a blessing and a curse. So what we're going to do is we're just going to plot a course to Hurston, and we're going to drop out of our quantum by holding down the B button repeatedly along the way until we find ourselves in the asteroid belt, and that's basically how you get there. Now, when I say it's a blessing and a curse, the curse is it's quite hard to get to. The blessing is that it's quite hard to get to, which means that there's not going to be pirates. You don't really need to worry about bumping into other players, and you'd be exceptionally unlucky to get caught by a pirate in the Halo. So what's the other reason for going to the Halo? It's mainly because the rocks out there are small. If we go to a moon, we've got a big chance of finding rocks that are like 6k, 7k, 8k in size. We won't be able to break those with the cheap-ass laser that we've got on the rental Prospector. So we will, however, be able to break the lower rocks. Now, will we be able to get any Quantanium? Probably not. Will we be able to fill up the hold with other stuff? For sure. So let's see what we're going to get. And I'll come back and show you a wee bit about the journey as we're doing it. So I think it's going to be about 11 million kilometres on the clock, roughly, when we hit the belt. We'll try that, see how that works. This is going to take a while because it's a really crap quantum drive.
A few moments later.
Well, as it turns out, it wasn't quite as far to the belt as I thought. It's actually 13.3 million kilometres is where I've dropped out here, and you can see pretty clearly that we've got a lot of asteroids. So let's have a wee look, see what we can find. Tab for the scanner. There's some stuff over here, so we'll go and have a wee look at that. Give ourselves a bit of a boost. Single rock. Well, that's fine. Any rock potentially is going to be worth looking at. Yeah, a couple of singles, some more behind it, so that's fine. You could use the try and use the actual target scanner here. Zoom in, but yeah, it's not very reliable generally speaking. So I'll just switch to the mining mode. Give it a scan. What we got? Aluminium, Bexelite, Corundum. It's probably not great, you know, but we're here just to see how much money we can make, so we're going to mine it. Now, most of you probably familiar with the basic concept of mining, especially from the other videos. I'll stick up a wee tab to the proper Prospector mining video, but basic principle before I start fast forwarding and not bore you all to death is switch to mining mode using the M, which we've already done. Activate the mining laser, use the mouse wheel to raise the laser intensity. You can see that going up there, and on the right hand side you'll see the charge level. We need to get that into the green. Not the red, just the green. So let's look at the size of this rock. It's 5.1, well, 5,122 in mass. I don't know if we'll be able to break this or not. We'll get a wee bit closer. I suspect we're not going to get this with a arbor laser. Something that's wiggling it about a bit can help, but that's not really sustainable for the whole process to get it into the green. I suspect this is going to be a struggle. Okay, so you can see we're basically, the mining laser's almost right up against the rock, and I'm having to move about because that does seem to help slightly, and we might be able to push it into the green long enough to get this to crack. Okay, so that was harder work than I expected, and it does tell us that 5.1 is probably in the kind of upper limit of what we can expect to do with this laser, and that was, that did require a fair bit of juggling to make that work. So maybe not perfect for your beginner first time in a prospector mining, but at least we know it can be done. You can break over a 5k rock with an arbor laser. The rest of it's going to be pretty easy as we break down these yellow rocks into the purple ones. Because there's no real instability penalty on the arbor laser, or instability bonus, it kinda is jumping about more than I expected it to be. But there we go, so we've got some mainly Bexelite, which I think might be of some value. I'm not entirely sure how much, and because it's not going to be volatile, we'll just take it on board. This is very different for me. I'm so I'm so used to doing the Quantanium, and you don't extract anything until you've broken every possible rock. But this is just going to be, fill up the cargo bay with whatever we can get, and go back and see how much it's worth. Okay, that's us, full cargo. So, set course back to Arkel 1. This has only taken a few minutes, it's been pretty quick. I suppose because we're not having to hunt for Quantanium, we're just taking what we find. We'll nip back to Arkel 1, dump it in the refinery, and then I'll price what we're going to get. Come back when I'm in the refinery. Alright, so let's see what we got.
Hey, back again, I see. Welcome. See anything you like?
So we're going to use dynamic solventation because it gives us the most bang for our buck. And we're going to get 18 SCU of aluminium and about 13 SCU of bexolite. So let's have a wee look at UEX. So yeah, we'll calculate here. We've got 44 is our price times 13. Alright, okay. So we need to multiply that by 100 because of the SCU. So 57,000 of bexolite. And we also had 18 of aluminium. The aluminium's not going to be worth much. 1.30. So we know probably aluminium's not the best thing to be going for. So aluminium, we've got 1794, sign me out. So 1.3 times 1794 equals 2,332. Okay, so that equates roughly to about 60,000 for that flight, which is paid for the Prospector's rental, and we are in profit. So, and that was really only, I don't know, I didn't actually have a clock running, but I would say probably only 20 minutes start to finish. So in our 20 minutes we have earned, well, we're in profit. So I'm going to head back out to the hill and we're going to see what we can find. Okay, so we're on our way from RKL1 to Hurston in Quantum, and we're just about to drop out at 13.3. And you can see by the fact that that's not an exact science that it would be really difficult for somebody to drop in on the same place as you. If they're just a fraction of a second out, they're probably going to be 10-20,000 kilometres away, so it makes it really difficult for anybody else to find you out here. So let's see what we're going to get this time. Q-type, this one is Quantanium. 2.1%, and it's mostly, just for the sake of science, we're going to see if we can break this with an arbor laser. So it's not really worth it because it's only 2.1% Quantanium, but I'm just curious. It's got the quartz in the barrel. Unfortunately, most of it's inert, just over half is inert. So let's see. As we saw the last time, it's not about the size of your laser, it's how you wiggle it. Same deal. It looks like it's unstable as hell, but it looks like in theory we might be able to break this given time. And a bit of wiggling. Right, I'm pretty confident that we would be able to break that in much the same way as we broke the first one. But it's not really worth it for 2% Quantanium and 50% inert material, so we'll go and have a wee look, see if we can find a better prospect. Diamond, bexolite, aluminium, that looks like it could be worth a crack, although it's quite a big rock again. And a lot of it is inert, but we'll give it a shot, see if we can break it. Okay, so that took about 4 minutes to get into the green at point blank range, and we're still dropping in and out, but I am pretty confident at this point that given a wee bit of time, this rock will break. Even though there was tooltips coming up telling me that the rock was too difficult and it wouldn't actually break with this mini laser. So yeah, sometimes a wee bit of perseverance. Is it a good use of time? Kind of depends on how much diamond and, well, depends on how well this rock breaks, really. What do I mean by that? Well, if you imagine this rock broke into 4 fragments, and one of those fragments was 100% inert materials, that obviously means the other 3 fragments are going to be quite high in what we want them to be. So sometimes it's just a question of luck the way the rock actually breaks. And I guess we'll see that in just a minute. Right, so it should be a lot easier now that we've broken it down into much smaller chunks. Alright, so we've scooped up the couple of rocks that we had. We've got 22 out of or 32 SCU of cargo full, half of it with diamond, well, most of it with diamond, but with a wee bit of bexelite as well. So, I'll just try to see if I can find something to fill up the last chunk of cargo. It would be nice to find a quant rock, just to see if it is mineable or not. 5.1 mass, 32% quantanium. that's a full prospector load in one rock right there. That's basically 250,000. I do not have high hopes that we're going to be able to break this. I might actually have to call in help from the org, because it would be a shame for someone not to get this load if anyone's out mining. So with this marvellous quantanium rock proving impossible to break with a rented prospector, I have called in a bit of help from the org, and here comes Lex. So Lex and I break this down, he'll do most of the work, and he can take the quantanium, and we'll keep going and see what we can find to fill up what we've got left of the cargo. If you too want free quantanium, then feel free to join the org. The information will be below.
Hello. It's a big rock.
So, I've done the maths from the second load, and it equates to about 35,000. So 60,000 plus 35,000 and some change, we'll just call it 100,000. And it was just over an hour worth of actual flying about mining in the belt. So that gives us a reasonably nice easy figure of 100,000 an hour in a rented prospector. Now, it's not the easiest mining in the world. If you do this, you're going to learn how to mine, because you're going to have to. You're probably going to find some quantanium that you can't mine. I left the little trace elements of quant that I had just so I didn't have to worry about a timer. You could get small quantanium rocks, presumably, but Bexelite appears to be where the money's at in the belt with a rented prospector. So I'm going to say, a bit rough and ready maths, but 100k an hour, cost you about 50k to rent the thing for 24 hours. So if you're saving up to buy your own prospector that you can actually make functional and good, then renting a prospector, 100k an hour, you need 2.1 million. It's doable. You're going to need to rent it, presumably, unless you're playing solidly, you're going to need to rent it 2 or 3 times. But yeah, you can do it. It's not entirely a waste of time. Are there better ways, easier ways to make money? Possibly. But if mining is for you, then renting a prospector is not entirely as hopeless as I thought it would be. So, hopefully
Hey,
we've
back
learned
again, I
something
see.
today.
Welcome.
And yeah, oh, there's Lex just handing in his quant there. So, give him a wave. Alright, so thanks very much for watching, guys. Now, as I will always say at the end of a video, Star Citizen University is an organisation in the game. Our aim is to help smooth the learning curve for newer players. So if you're new to the game, or if you've got skills that you can pass on to people that are new to the game, give us a look. The instructions, the directions will be below in the video description. Thanks very much for watching, and fly safe. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.